All right, good evening, everyone. This is Theresa Krack, and we are officially going to get started with our first online event of our FY18 year. And with me tonight is Grace Lefebure, and we are going to go through kind of a launch event for us this year. It is going to be our online info session and Officer Ask Me Anything. Part of what we're doing with this is we're creating a series of regular online events where we can help communicate great information about section news and SWE news and everything that's going on. So let's go ahead and get this kicked off. So as I mentioned, my name is Theresa Krack, and I am the current FY18 section rep and virtual brand coordinator for SWE PNW. Grace Lefebure, who is with us tonight, is our FY18 section president. Our agenda for today and our typical agenda for what we're thinking these will look like is we're going to go through what we have on the docket for our events and activities as a section. We'll talk about SWE PNW business stuff, the interesting stuff, we promise. It's not going to be a big lecture on SWE business. Then we're going to take a look at things that are going on at the region and society level and things that you might need to know as section members, whether they impact you or impact our section, so that you're aware of what's going on the bigger scale with SWE. We'll have a rotating topic, and then at the very end, we'll open this up to an Ask Me Anything style Q&A session. So to get us started, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Grace to tell us what's going on with SWE PNW and talk about some of the upcoming events.
Thanks, Theresa. We've got a lot of great things coming up in September, and this is really the start of our fiscal, or I guess the start of our activities year. Our fiscal year started in June. So all of our committees and teams have been working hard to get things planned for this year. So in September, our first event is we have a scholarship fundraiser at Cycle Bar Fitness, which is this Sunday, September 10th at noon in Cycle Bar in Redmond. And I'm signed up, so you should come and cycle with me. And another event we have is our Outreach Open House, which will be at the Third Place Commons in Lake Forest Park on September 17th. And that'll be a great opportunity for anyone who's interested in learning more about getting involved with our outreach activities, and which include like all of our outreach to schools and education programs and things like that. Another thing happening on the 17th is our book club. And this month we'll be reading Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg, and that'll occur at Growler USA in Redmond. And then on September 18th, we'll have the Professional Development Committee planning meeting. So this will be a great way for anyone who's interested in helping with our professional development activities, like our tech talks and tech tours and all of those networking type events. So if you're interested in planning that type of event, this is a great way to meet all the people involved with that. And that one is online, so that's easily accessible.
That's a fantastic list of events to get us started here in September. And it's really cool to see that we've got that mix of, fundraising activities and outreach and that sort of social and networking, and then the professional development. One of the things, for our first question for you, Grace, is if I wanted to keep in touch with SWE PNW to keep up with the latest and greatest as events become announced, how can I do that?
Well, we have a lot of great ways for you to connect. You can find information on our webpage, sync to our Google Calendar, check out the event signups on our Facebook page, and subscribe to our email list. We'll make sure to include links on the slide here in the video description so that you can check all of them out.
All right, that's great. Thanks, Grace. It's definitely a customizable interaction experience there. So I think with that, we're going to switch tracks now and jump to our second agenda item, which is SWE PNW Business. So this is what we've got going on at the section level. And Grace, I'd like to ask you what you'd like to get our members up to speed on with regards to our section business.
Sure. Let's start by introducing everyone to our elected officers in FY18. Since our election announcements were announced earlier this summer, so this will be this is our slate for the year. So I'm the president. Our president-elect is Elaine Reeves. Cherie Rippey. Our secretary is Marina Daniker. Our vice president of professional development is Sonia Hingurani. Our vice president of outreach is Dana Day. And Theresa, who is my co-presenter on this call, is our section representative.
All right, so what can people get involved with SWE PNW?
So all of our committees and teams are looking for help. So if you're interested in joining or helping out, definitely let us know. There's opportunities in outreach and volunteering, professional development. Those 2 meetings that I mentioned earlier, those are great ways to connect and figure out ways to get involved with those 2 areas. But then we also have our book club, our collegiate relations committee, virtual brand team, section awards program, as well as an awards committee to review award applications. You can help out with our finances, membership engagement, social and networking. And then there's a lot of other roles like contributing content to our newsletter or our social media pages, being a photographer at our events. We're always looking for more pictures, so that's always an opportunity. Event write-ups, online event moderators, as well as SWE PNW Business. In addition to that part of our section, we're also looking at launching some special task forces in FY18. This mirrors what the society has and provides yet another great way for our members to engage in helping to shape the SWE side of the section. And some of the topics that we're considering for these special task forces are improving the standard operating procedures for our section election, investigating and developing our travel reimbursement policy, bylaws review and update, and exploring our city's interest in hosting a We Local event, which is our local conference series, if you're not familiar with that. But we'll be putting more information on these special task forces, more information out on these special task forces soon. But if you're interested in helping with any of these, we're always looking for help. So,
well, that sounds great, Grace. Thank you for sharing all those great opportunities. And it looks like there's a great set of events for people to not only participate and show up to enjoy, but help behind the scenes and do some planning, both for the professional development and the outreach, or even just on the developing their SWE acumen and their business knowledge there. So it's great to see those opportunities.
Right. Well, with that, let's jump up to the region and society level. So what's going on at those levels that our members should be aware of?
So there's a lot going on at the region and society level, and we're just going to touch on a little bit of that information right now. One of the biggest things that's affecting us is that the society is going through a governance structure change. And they are doing a really great job of trying to keep all of the current information out there and available to membership through things like podcasts, videos, blog articles, and all other sorts of things. And so we're not going to duplicate that information here, but we do want all of our members, our section members, to know that there's this great governance webpage so that they can go check this out and see what the latest and greatest is. They also have an email where if you've got questions on what's going on, they want to hear from you. They're looking for questions, they're looking for feedbacks. We do suggest that you check out the FAQ that they have up on their webpage because they keep that updated as they get questions in there. And if you've got questions on how this impacts us at a section level, go ahead and contact me as your section rep. If I know the answer, I will provide it. If I don't, I will work with our region representatives and maybe all the way up to the governance committee to get that answer so that we know how it impacts us. And one of the biggest things going on at the region level as a result of these governance changes is that this is the last year for regions. They're going to be sunset at the end of the year. And with that comes a lot of activities to working a plan to resolve the finances at the region level and resolve kind of where that money is going to go and do the appropriate cadence out of kind of all of the region level accounts and access information. This is actually one of the reasons what's driving one of our section level special task forces. Right now, we don't have a travel reimbursement policy, and our officers that travel for SWE events rely on the region reimbursement policy. So with regions going away, we're creating that task force to look at what we can do at a section level going forward to help support our officers traveling to some of those required meetings. So there's a lot going on with regards to that region going away part. And we really do encourage you to go ahead and check out that governance update webpage on a regular basis. We will pull key information from there and share it out on our social media platforms. And I think there's even an option to subscribe to text so that you get a text when there's some new information up there. So we really want to help make this information accessible to our members, and we encourage you to go check it out.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot going on this year on the SWE business side, and it sounds like SWE is really trying to make sure our members are kept in the loop. So let's keep with the theme of the SWE business for a little bit. So our rotating topic this month is the SWE ABJ Leadership Summit. So let's jump right into this one. Since Theresa, you attended this event, how was that?
So it was a really cool event. So both Elaine Reeves and I attended this event as elected officers from the section. We've got a couple of fun pictures up there so that you can sort of get a feel for it. The purpose of this particular leadership summit was to get the leaders of regions A, B, and J, basically your West Coast, together to learn about current issues and current practices going on with SWE, share and discuss on mega issues affecting the society, and get the West Coast regions a chance to work together and network in a casual setting. And you can see sort of the agenda there on the slide in terms of kind of the topics that we had a chance to learn about and discuss.
So do you want to go through like telling our members like what is the ABJ Leadership Summit, and what is one takeaway that you had that you wanted to share?
Yeah, so the actual agenda that we went through, there was a lot of time spent on, as you can imagine, the governance updates and the discussion in terms of what was going on there. We had an overview of the FY18 operational plan in the sense of how that's going to affect the society. We heard from the senators of the West Coast regions, and actually that's the picture in the upper right was when they were getting up there and giving us an update of their SWE Senate business meetings in terms of what they were doing there. So there are 4 of the West Coast region senators up that way. And I think part of what I really found interesting were some of the topics in the afternoon that talked about what the leadership pipeline is going to look like beyond FY18. Because right now, sections have leadership opportunities, regions have leadership opportunities, and society has leadership opportunities. And as they look at how we better prepare our SWE members for leadership development, not only within the society, but ways that it can benefit them in their career and in their home life, I think it's cool to see that they're looking towards a leadership competency model and talking about how that can be used to really cultivate your skills as an individual and look at what you can work on within SWE and how that correlates to some of the SWE leadership opportunities that are going to be at the section and the society level going forward with the regions going away. So there's a lot of information on that, and that's almost a whole nother presentation in itself. So if you've got some questions on any of the topics listed on the ABJ Leadership Summit, I would definitely say reach out to me or Elaine, and we'll be happy to go through what we talked about at ABJ Leadership Summit in a little bit more detail.
That's great. Thank you for that great discussion on the ABJ Leadership Summit. Tongue-tied today.
One thing I do want to kind of mention is because with regions going away, there's actually a lot of questions about what's going to happen to these leadership summits. Like on the West Coast, it's a joint leadership summit with A, B, and J. Other regions like Region H do it, just as Region 8. And so there's a lot of questions with regions going away. What's going to happen to these opportunities to get multiple section leaders together? And the society is taking that concern very seriously, and they've actually started a task force at the society level to look at this. At the section level, we want to make sure that if you've got feedback on these leadership summits, get it over to our section rep email. We'll go ahead and post that link in the video comments and the Facebook discussion for the event here, because we really want to make sure that we're passing those concerns and those ideas about what the leadership summit kinds of things can look like in the future going forward when they're maybe not focused around, the regions coming together.
Right. Well, great. Thank you for all that information. Sounds like we have a lot of resources to help with this if we need it.
No problem. I think that gets us to our wrap up here, which I can go ahead and take the wrap up before we get over to the AMA if you'd like, Grace.
Okay.
So part of what we're doing here is we're launching this brand new video series that we're going to be posting out, doing a live broadcast, and then putting up on our YouTube channel, and potentially taking snippets and putting it over on our Facebook group. But it needs a name. It needs a fun name, because the officer info session, our online info session and officer AMA is a really long title. So we'd like to put it out to a vote. We've got a short list of options here that we've kind of brainstormed behind the scenes. And you can see it's option 1 is Pacific Ponderings. Option 2 is Emerald City Speedsters. Option 3 is SWE PNW Digital Digest. And then option 4 is SWE PNW Computer Side Chat. So we're trying to find a fun name, just like our newsletter is Notes from the Northwest, and our blog is Rainy Day Read, which we will make sure there's links to where you can find that in the video description once we post the official video after this. But we'll be setting up a poll in our SWE PNW member forum, our Facebook group. So watch for that in the coming day or so, and we'll post that poll once we've got a link to the official video ready, so that you can come back and see what we talked about, see what our standard agenda is, and help us decide what to name this going forward. So this is one very quick and easy way for you to engage with our SWE PNW section and your SWE PNW leaders. So we're super excited to bring this to you. And so I think with that, with the idea of trying to keep the SWE business and the events and activities on the short side of this, I think this is where Grace and I get to play logistical hopstick and find out if there's any questions in the Facebook group or through our live audience and on the YouTube channel.
I'm on the Facebook group and I don't see any questions.
All right, and I am checking my YouTube broadcast, which is always good fun to try to find everything. So hang on one second. I'm not seeing anything over here either. And the trick is to not activate the video while I'm looking for comments. All right. I'm not seeing any comments on the YouTube video, but I'm going to find my controls and I'm going to mute for a second and then just make sure that everything. Okay, I have been able to check and see if there are any comments on our YouTube live watch page. I'm not currently seeing any. Grace, since you happen to be online in the Facebook group and we're still within that sort of first half-hour block, do you want to just post something out to the Facebook event, and then I will post something out to the member forum and see if anybody's got any questions. We'll give it a few minutes just in case somebody was thinking they could join a little bit late and still ask a question.
All right. That's good.
And for those that may be watching on the replay, please forgive us. We'll try to trim this out if we don't end up getting questions. But bear with us as we try to get some of the logistics working for our inaugural live online event. And
I guess I can mention one thing really quickly. So one thing that I want to make sure everyone's aware of is that our leadership meetings are open to everyone. So if you ever want to bring a concern to our leadership team, or you just like to listen to our discussion or participate in any way, you can always attend our leadership meetings. And our first one is right before that cycling event. So you could do 2 in a row if you wanted to come to that and help us with our leadership team with some planning.
That's a good point, Grace, and we really do encourage people to join us for those meetings, or reach out to one of the officers or contact us through our webpage if you've got questions. I mean, we really want to, as officers, especially on the communication side and the section rep side, we really want to make sure that we're hearing what our members are saying and answering their questions and helping you find ways to engage with the section if that's also what you're looking for.
Right.
I've decided that there are now officially too many options on Facebook for making a simple post.
On Facebook?
Yeah, it's like they want you to do all this fun formatting.
I don't even know how to do that. Can I change the format?
We do encourage people, like I said at the beginning, this is our first inaugural event. We're going to try to do this on a monthly basis and look at doing it around the first week of the month as much as we can get that on the schedule. And if you've got specific questions that you want to see answered in this kind of forum, we'll put the post out to where you can send those over to the virtual brand team to kind of help collect those into the online format question. When we do send out the event emails for our online events, there's usually a submitted advanced question. You can use that button too. And if you are watching the replay and you don't see a question answered that you wanted to see answered, shoot us an email. We really want to help create that interactive space in the virtual environment, whether it's in our Facebook group discussions or in our Facebook event discussions. So we want to keep that dialogue going between SWE members and SWE members and section leaders.
Yep.
All right, I just posted out, and you will see it looks like there may have been something that came in an email. I'm going to go check that quick. Cool. We have a question. So yeah. We have a question from Nicole Stanton. Thank you for emailing us a question. We really appreciate it. So she recently moved to the area as a member, and she'd like to know how she can become involved. And I think we hit on some of that a little bit earlier, but one of the biggest things to do is check out our webpage. And this is where I totally cheat because I have it sort of on a back link here, and I can bring it up and show you how you can connect as we're waiting here. Check out our webpage. It's awesome. So the biggest way to get engaged and involved is to kind of keep an eye out on what we've got going on our webpage. We've got ways to connect under section communications in terms of getting on our email list. This is also where you can go find our North from the Northwest and a link over to our blog. You can see the events and activities and get to a calendar and see what we have coming up, which will highlight the same kind of events that Grace went through. There's a cheater method to that too. You can scroll down here and see our upcoming agenda so that you can see it on the left sidebar of everything. And if as you're exploring the webpage, if there's something there that you see you want to get engaged with, shoot us an email. We've got a contact us form on the webpage, or post something in our member forum, and you can find our links to all of that under our section communications. We've got our Facebook group and our Twitter feed, and all of the links to our social media here on our webpage. And we do try to keep this updated from a virtual brand perspective so that we can keep the latest and greatest information out there on the section. Grace, is there anything else that you want to add to that today?
Nope, I think that's good. Good answer.
All All right. Well, thank you, Nicole. I'm so excited that we got a submitted question. That is very exciting for our first inaugural event to have an official question for our AMA session. We really appreciate that. I'm hopping back over to our Facebook posts and things of that nature. Grace, is there anything coming up on the event side?
I didn't see anything. Let me double check. I was posting like emojis. There's a really cute bunny with a question mark.
All right, so I'm not seeing any more comments, and I think we've officially hit our half-hour mark, which is kind of what we wanted to try to target for at least our first one, just to give people an opportunity to join and post questions. We do hope to have a few more voices on our next one, and we do really appreciate if people submit the questions if you would like to see them planned for and answered. Submit them through Facebook or through the email. Or through the event discussion or on the YouTube channel. So we'll try to keep an eye on that. After the live broadcast, what we'd ask is, post any of your questions out in the SWE PNW member forum. If you're not a member of the SWE PNW member forum, you'll find the link to that in the description of the video once we get the official link posted. So I think with that, Grace, did you want to say any parting words as we say thank you and see you officially next time?
No, I think thanks and see you next time was a great answer.
Yeah, it took a little bit to load the site. I was trying to be much more clever with the timing, so. But hopefully everybody on the replay will get a kick out of it. So, well, thank you to my co-host tonight, Grace. I appreciate having a second voice on the phone today, and hopefully our members got something out of the session today.